Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging while coming at you with thoughts of the day. I had some carrots for lunch, in case you're wondering. I know you're on the edge of your seats about that. I wanted to talk to you because clearly this is the weekend of, I don't feel very good right now. If I have to sign off suddenly, you'll know why. Sorry. So far, I'm captivating my audience, aren't I? If you want to capture someone's attention, whisper. Okay. Monday, as we all know, as we can never forget, is the September 11th Memorial Day kind of deal. And, ladies and gentlemen, how I feel about all that. I find it to be quite the conspiracy theory that 19 men armed with box cutters were able to more or less overpower flight crews, storm the cockpit, take over the controls, fly with precision, it's a vehicle, into some buildings at altitudes that are impossible for that type of airplane to do. But nonetheless, this is the conspiracy that is reinforced annually by by having specials about it and connecting it to Khalid Sheikh Mohammed or whatever his name is, and the guy in the cave, and ladies and gentlemen, just think about that for a minute. All this was led by a man in a cave in Afghanistan who had kidney dialysis going on or something. It's just upsetting. And before you leap on me, even I've had some diehard Republican type thinkers tell me that, I don't like labels, but I have to do it. If I'm telling a story that, when I used to work at Mama Bear's, there was this one gentleman there. He's a diehard Republican. He makes no bones about it. And he said that, like he would see in the newspaper, never forget or what have you. And he said, how the heck can we forget when they're always going on about it? And I'm suspicious over that, ladies and gentlemen. Call me a tinfoil hat wearer if you must. But why don't we hear every year about Pearl Harbor? Why didn't we hear about that every year? People totally forget about Pearl Harbor Day, honestly. I usually try to post on Facebook. Or the days that we dropped the bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Or Hiroshima, Nagasaki, whatever, however you want to say it. And then I've noticed that people are not... okay. Then we have the other theories from the engineers and architects for 9/11 truth. And, of course, I used to accept that because I didn't know that there were other stories out there, theories, or in this case that I'm fixing to mention, absolute scientific evidence. I think I've mentioned before, but I do have new viewers, that there's a lady named Judy Wood, Dr. Judy Wood, and I found out about her probably at this point, maybe almost a year ago. I'm going to say 9 months or something like that. Because I like that I like that Jesse Ventura. Isn't that weird how the mind does? And he interviewed her, and he used to go along with the engineers and architects, and they were explosions and all this stuff, until he was handed her book. He was at a book signing himself, I believe, and a former NASA employee, was in line to get a book signed, and he casually handed Ventura this book called Where Did the Buildings Go? And it was Judy Wood, and it's like, I don't know how many pages, I think 600 pages of scientific, documented evidence, pictures, all that jazz. And so he read that book, and then he interviewed her, and he changed his mind in terms of what really happened. Her main thing is, you can't get into why it happened or who did it or any of that jazz until you figure out what the heck happened, ladies and gentlemen. So, of course, using the scientific method and even ending up taking that NIST, N-I-S-T, National Institute for something, to court. She took them to court for, I guess, scientific fraud in terms of their report they did for the 9/11 Commission. Which, by the way, They weren't even going to do anything like that, ladies and gentlemen. But it was the victims' family members who pressed the Bush administration to get on the ball. And then, of course, you had Bush and Cheney being interviewed, what was it, together and sort of like not off the record, but not in any public way. It was real odd. But look, I'm not even saying who or any of that. I'm strictly talking about the what happened, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why I'm asking you, because I see a lot of stubbornness when I mention this. People still cling to the architect and engineer for 9/11 truth stuff. And evidently a lot of the money has been followed from that particular group. And the one leader, I'm not sure of his name right now, so forgive me. But there's some shenanigans possibly involved. And this Dr. Judy Wood, what really perked me up about her, as I've mentioned many times, ladies and gentlemen, that anytime somebody is totally demonized, marginalized, called names, really looked down upon by some people, that makes me think maybe they are on to something. And evidently this whole 9/11 truth movement with the engineers and architects, or architects and engineers, whatever it goes, they have been really, really rude about Dr. Judy Wood and her scientific evidence about this. And to me that sounds strange. If you want to get to the truth, then why are you not including her into the group to help you flesh out what happened? So I guess the point of this video right now is to encourage you all, please take a look. It's a 10-minute, I think there's two 10-minute interviews on, if you just type into the YouTube search, Jesse Ventura, Judy Wood, and you'll see part 1 and 2 where she goes over a lot of the stuff. Of course, I've moved beyond that and looked into her presentations that she gives. And then people say weird stuff like she claimed it was an outer space beam and all that. The woman never claimed that. You know, okay, a lot of the technology that she does talk about, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here, but it was stuff that Nikola Tesla, however you say it appropriately, that he had researched, stumbled upon, discovered, however you want to call it. And of course he was ripped off, and he was, you know, a lot of his stuff remains secret to this day, ladies and gentlemen. He was afraid some of his findings, I guess you would say, might be used for evil instead of good. I wonder where he would get that idea. So, and, oh lordy, I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I'm just asking, please, you know, I ask you to look into the geoengineeringwatch.org before calling me names, or, you know, calling anybody names that asks about it. I'm asking you to please, just check out 10 minutes of your life. If you're interested, you can go to part 2. I believe it's another 10 minutes. I think they're 10-minute videos each. There might be 20 minutes. Nonetheless, give up a Lounging with Lisa video and go over there and watch Jesse Ventura, Dr. Judy Wood, and then if she sparks your interest or whatever, then maybe you can move along to looking at her full-length lectures. Very, very scientifically well done. I mean, honestly, a lot of stuff I never knew. Like, for example, I hear a lot about, of course, World Trade Center building number 7, because that's the one that's so obviously, you know, is not, please. But I never knew this until her. Never. And you tell me below if you've heard of this either, unless you're familiar with Judy Wood. All buildings with the WTC, World Trade Center, at the beginning, the prefix, were destroyed that day. They went away that day. They were no longer there. They were affected, whatever. Buildings 1 through 7, not just buildings 1, 2, and 7. I never knew that until I looked into Dr. Judy Wood. What else? I mean, there's just so many bizarre things. Like, there was a hurricane off the coast of New York that day, right off Long Island. Did you ever hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Really weird stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And she just gives, like, pages upon hundreds of pages of scientific evidence. The thing about her that is so appealing is, I'm getting cranky for lack of toast. I'm kidding. Is that she was raised in a household in which they really didn't watch television. So when she saw her colleagues kind of gathered around watching this on the day that it happened, she looked at them and said, "You're not really believing this story, are you?" And they kind of looked at her like she had 5 heads, and so she realized, oopsie. And so then she went on and she thought, well, certainly I'll leave this up to the grown-ups, I think is how she says it, in terms of, I'm sure there'll be a full investigation, scientifically, done. And it turns out there wasn't really. And so then she felt that she needed to do something about it. And for that, of course, she's been marginalized by this 9/11 truth movement. Does that make any sense to you, ladies and gentlemen? Just, here's what I see. People get so, they're convinced they know the truth. And, they won't let go of it. They won't look into anything else that might upset their worldview or other things they've discovered. And I do understand that. I mean, for many years, of course, I thought it was the way that this group talked about, this architects and engineers group. And it's not just Dr. Judy Wood. Now there's several other people that are backing her. So, at any rate, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's why I'm coming at you, because this is, clear now through Monday. We'll be hearing about this, that, and the other thing, and everything on TV will be 9/11, and wow, look at that wind. Well, heaven's sakes. So, okay, anyhow, that's all. Please, Dr. Judy Wood and Jesse Ventura is a very good start to your investigative work, because I know that I have open-minded viewers that aren't afraid to upset their worldviews. That's why I love you so. Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging. While coming at you with thoughts of the day, please join me, join others, drop your political identity. Let's focus on issues, let's leave labels at the door, and let's look into things even if it might upset your worldview. Love you.